Okay, so now we have a situation where we initiate a call and either the person is not free, cannot pick the call, or the call does not work, or the transcript does not work, and we want to switch to email. Exactly where to put this workflow is the question. This is the workflow that we had before. This is called call API. And what it does is it either goes through the transcript, it finds a transcript, or it doesn't find a transcript. In both cases, like even if I turn the call off, like if the call doesn't work, then it's going to go in this branch and then I'm going to have it here. So the best place that I can have is right here. So if the transcript is not done, then I can literally execute the next step of calling that API that is basically this one. I can come here, copy the curl, and then add another HTTP request here that would do exactly this email sending job for me, which would be one of the two things that this workflow can do. One is saving it in the Google Sheets, and one is sending an email so that we can follow up on that. And this HTTP request can be renamed to send email. This Google Sheet is save information or save lead. This is also called save lead. These are all the nodes that we'll be changing to Supabase very soon. The reason I'm doing it with Google Sheets separately and later on with Supabase is so that we can have like two different versions of the same workflow, so that some people who are not comfortable with Supabase can stay with Google Sheets, or the ones who want to not build the entire front end can utilize from this version of it in the first place. All right, so I have this contact form already in place. It has all the information but my email address. So I'm going to quickly do the full integration. Since it's turned on, I'm going to use the production URL and then go to the workflow we had that is called contact form workflow. And then in here, we're going to just use that URL instead, so that this HTTP request is sent to that URL, and it has email address, LinkedIn, and everything we are looking for. Perfect. And I can refill this form, but it's going to be the same information, so I'm just going to save some time from this recording, and I'm going to just execute this workflow. And as soon as I execute this, I'm expecting to receive a phone call. I will turn off the phone call so that the workflow can execute forward, and then I can map the workflow in the next steps to compose the email that I'm supposed to send. Okay, now I'm executing it. I received the phone call. Oops, I picked it. I just picked it and then I turned it off. I hope it's going to go in that other branch of the workflow, which is no transcripts. So it's supposed to go to the workflow that we were just modifying called call API. This is the one that is supposed to turn that workflow into, and then also store. There we go. Unfortunately, it went down there because I picked the phone call. Just to be sure, this is 30 seconds. I'm going to quickly go here and change this to 1 second. Indeed, I don't need to initiate that, I can also copy this to the editor, and then literally from all of this information that I have here, phone number, now I have email address, everything that I need, and then I can execute it right away from here. I don't need to go to the other workflow. So there we go. I will cut the phone call. It anyways went into this route, and then this is what I want to configure. So I need to map a few things in here instead of like these test emails and so on. I'm gonna do some messaging. All right, so I have the subject very clearly. It can come from a database setting. It can be saved somewhere in a Supabase database or in a Google Sheet or wherever. But for now, I want to make it super simple. I will initiate an email that says, "Thank you for applying to Emil Sayers vibe coding and n8n cohort number 2 bootcamp, month-long bootcamp, whatever it is, but just want to make sure that it looks nicer." And then in here, I'm going to say, "Hi there, can you please answer the following questions?" I'm going to ask a few questions like, do you have at least 5 hours to spend per week for this bootcamp? Do you know the basics of n8n and vibe coding? Just a few qualifying questions that we already have in our system. And then the to email will be switched to the one that we got from the webhook. So we already have this email address here. I'm going to just drag and drop it here. And then also the full name, although we don't need the full name because in here when we say hi, and then in here, right in here, we can go ahead and do personalized email greeting. Hi, full name. Okay. This can also be an HTML email, but for now we're going to just keep it as a simple text email. But in the email sending, in the Gmail part, we can switch it to an HTML email and have line breaks and bold and so on and so forth. All right, so we don't need to pass this parameter unless that API will fail, then we'll fix it if that happens. All right, so we're gonna execute it, and if everything was done properly, I received a phone call, I'm gonna cut the phone call. Now, this one is trying to send a form. Okay, this is 404. The reason is because this one is going in test mode. So we're going to remove the test mode from this particular endpoint because we want to actually test it. So send email webhook can be in the active mode. When you turn on the active mode, the only difference that you see here is a /test. So the production and the test mode URLs are exactly the same, but it has the test mode just has like -test. So I have this thing in the active mode, and also the call API is also in the active mode, but we have the pen data, so we can execute it from here right away in this mode. And here we go. We send an email, and what I'm expecting is that I should have received also an email from myself back to myself with this information. Thank you. And if I open it, I can see the questions that are asked. In the next video, we're going to answer this email and then create a workflow that can listen to the answer of this email and then enrich this data set in Google Sheets by evaluating whether this is a qualified lead or not. See you in the next video.